Thank you, Mary. Well, now comes the fun part, at least for the voters, maybe not for the two candidates, the debate. It is my pleasure to introduce our moderator for the evening. She is an active community member and former Knox County Commission candidate with more than 15 years of civic and community service. She is currently a Knox County educator. Please help me welcome Evelyn Gill.
Thank you and good evening. It is absolutely wonderful to see everyone here. I have the hard task of making sure we cover our ground rules with civility, professionalism, and the expectation that we will be here to look at the issue of renewable energy and sustainability in Knox County. First, let's take a look at this. When you came in and signed into the door, presented was the audience participation guidelines. I simply want to review our housekeeping details. And let's start with silencing our cell phones. So if you don't know how to do that, touch your neighbor and ask them to give you some help. So we're going to give people an opportunity to do that. And don't be embarrassed. I'm a high school teacher. Touch your neighbor. Say, I don't have to cut this off. Take care of that for me right now. So we would want to have all of the focus tonight on our two candidates to make sure we understand the issues. So we'll give people a chance to do that. We also want to appreciate that we have no campaign banners, signs, or any paraphernalia that is visible. So we'll give people an opportunity to put that away as well. We appreciate no applauding from the audience. What we expect is an opportunity to hear both perspectives, and we can't do that if we agree or disagree on either side. No cameras, no videos other than those that have been approved by the committee that is hosting this forum for this evening. If you have a question, we have a policy and a procedure for that. I need to ask Mr. Stan Johnson to raise his hand. If you have a question or in need of a piece of paper, see one of your host committee members. Write your question on your index card or the provided slip of paper. Move it to the center of the aisle, and Mr. Johnson will pick it up. Let me say we have the right for brevity and to vet those questions in the event that we have duplication. Here's the most important factor we have to appreciate. If you have to leave, please do so quietly, because we have a live stream right down the hall and to the left, is that correct? In the student lounge, so that you may have an opportunity to hear the close of the debate. Very good. Now, here's what I would like. We're going to have an opportunity to bring our mayoral candidates to the stage. Earlier, we've had a coin toss to decide who's going to be candidate A, who's going to be candidate B. So when I introduce those candidates, at that time, you can applaud and help me welcome them to the stage. Here's our procedure. We're going to bring Mr. Mark Padgett to the stage. We're going to bring Mrs. Madeline Rambo to the stage. And will you please allow me to welcome these candidates at this time. Here's our procedure. Each candidate has a 2-minute opening statement. We will allow each candidate to complete their opening statements. And I need to ask our timekeeper at this time to stand. Very good. So there's your prompt in the back. Please make sure we are professional, because I certainly would not want to use my teacher pen and send anybody to the office. Not tonight. I also want to make sure that we have an opportunity to have audience participation and ask the questions. So So we will have an opportunity to ask, have a question, have a 1-minute statement, and a 30-minute rebuttal. Candidate A and candidate B, and I will call your names. Any questions? Let's start with Mr. Patch.
Good evening. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here. This is our 51st debate or forum together, and I think that's where the best kind of government happens, is when you open this up to public discussion and talk about the issues. I want to take just a second to tell about myself. I'm a Knoxville native. I was born here. I grew up in Knoxville. My family's called Knoxville home for over 4 generations. I grew up in the Lonsdale and Halls communities, and now live in the Rocky Hill area with my wife, Katie, our almost 2-year-old daughter now, Kirby, a 3-week-old son, William Pierce, and our golden doodle, Cappy. I love Knoxville, and the reason I'm running, I tell people, is really 2 reasons. Number one, I was brought up in a family that says serving your community is just the greatest thing that you can do. But number 2, I believe Knoxville's at a crossroads. I believe we've come a really long way in the last 6 to 8 years, but we're not through yet. And it matters who the next mayor of Knoxville is. I don't think we've somehow made it around the bend, and I believe the next mayor of Knoxville should be someone who's just as comfortable sitting across a kitchen table in Lonsdale as they are sitting across a boardroom table somewhere in some other state with a company trying to recruit them to Knoxville. I feel like my experience is working for Governor Bredesen, as I did in Nashville for about 3 years as an assistant to him, and also starting a small business in the private sector, really well positioned to take advantage of where we are as a city. And I look forward to talking about issues tonight that are important to all of us to move Knoxville forward. Thank you very much.
Mrs. Rivera.
Well, good evening. My name is Madeline O'Hara, and I'm running for mayor of Knoxville. I believe this election is really about 3 things: experience, vision, and results. Which one of us has the most relevant experience? Which one has the best vision to lead us forward? And which one of us has the proven results that shows the ability to lead? Now, I am married. My husband's here tonight with me, and we live in South Knoxville. We have 5 grown children. One of them is here tonight. We have had a long-term, as a family, a long-time commitment to energy efficiency and to sustainability. My husband's a civil engineer and construction manager. He's built a couple, 2 or 3 lead projects. Our daughter Joan has studied green building products as part of her architecture program. Our son Damien has a PhD in planning as a focus on energy policy, and he studies this and teaches this every day. We've had a personal family commitment to this with recycling for many years. The commitment to growing, having honeybees in our backyard, and making our home more energy efficient. So I'm really excited about this conversation tonight. And as I hope we'll get into later, as the Director of Community Development for the last 4 years under Mayor Haslam, I introduced energy efficiency and sustainability into that department, and also, and I hope we all have a chance to talk about that, and I co-chaired the Mayor's Energy and Sustainability Task Force. Now, throughout this campaign, I've talked about my vision for Knoxville, which includes having a thriving economy with opportunities for entrepreneurs and for good jobs for everyone. A greener Knoxville that really leads the state in living green and in working green. And when we all go home after a day of work, we should all live in great neighborhoods with a high quality of life. That's been my mantra from day one. So I'm really excited about focusing, because we haven't had much opportunity to really focus on the energy efficiency and sustainability part of that.
Thank you. Let's move directly into our questions. And remember, you have 1 minute to answer each question. You have a 30-second rebuttal, and please stick to answering the question. We have far more existing homes and buildings than new construction, especially in this economy. Do you think Knoxville should encourage or require existing homes and buildings to meet energy efficiency standards? Mr. Patch.
I think I'm not going to need the entire 1 minute to answer that. I should say yes. I think that should always be something we look to do for a number of reasons. But I think we should always look for new development and redevelopment to be more energy efficient in each of our homes that we already own, but in